But anyway, you ready to get into some week 9 picks?
Yes.
Alrighty, we're going to open up with Thursday Night Football. We have an obvious one. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Houston Texans. I definitely don't need to ask you this question, but who wins this game?
Eagles. Score is going to be like 38-3.
Yeah, Eagles. Lock of the week. Enough said.
Yeah, same here. Houston don't stand a chance against the undefeated team that's going to go 8-0, so Philadelphia.
Yeah, now we move on to Sunday games. We have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Atlanta Falcons. This is the what I like to call the Choker Bowl because Atlanta almost choked away the game last week versus P.J. Walker. And, of course, we know the Chargers. So what's your prediction in this one?
As a Chargers fan, Chargers 31-10.
Okay, yeah, this one was tough for me as well. I could see this going either way. Atlanta has fight. Los Angeles has the talent. But I'm still going to go Los Angeles. I just like their matchup a little more.
See, I don't know, man. I don't trust the Chargers. I really don't. Like, they have talent, but I don't know if it's injuries or if it's just their organization. I really don't know. I just can't trust the Chargers whatsoever. And Atlanta, they're first place in their division. At 4-4, yeah. But they beat the Panthers, which means they're number 1 in their division.
What?
And Atlanta, they actually know how to get points on the board. Somehow, some way. And they got Marcus Mariota as quarterback.
I know. Don't make me angry.
I'm going Atlanta. Upset. This is my upset of the week.
Wow, Atlanta.
I don't know about Los Angeles on the road, and I think Atlanta can do it at home.
You think they maintain hold first place of the NFC South?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Without a doubt.
Wow, man. Okay, I like it. Next game, Miami at Chicago. You guys just beat the Chicago Bears. Your Dallas Cowboys are on the bye as well as our Steelers. So what's your prediction on this one?
I mean, if they run the ball the way they ran against the Dolphins, who are on kind of a skid, they won they only game before last game. But I'm going with the Bears. Score of 21-18.
Wow, you're going the Bears. Interesting. I just don't know about the Bears, man. I don't. I admire their competitiveness last week versus Dallas up until, of course, Micah Parsons did Micah Parsons plays, and that really sealed the victory. He's definitely the defense player of the year thus far. Give me Miami. Tyreek Hill's a beast, and Chicago's still Chicago to me. So, yeah, I like Miami's matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago, I'll give them this. The past couple of weeks that, they've been competitive. They've been actually getting points on the board. Their offense has. I'll give them that. And with that being said, I do think Chicago can keep it close and very competitive. But I think at the end of the game, Miami does leave with a win on the road against Chicago. I think Miami can get the win here and continue that momentum that they're riding.
Right. Next game, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Cincinnati Bengals. Carolina remaining in the fight last week versus Atlanta, leading it, forcing overtime with that hell of a Hail Mary from Walker to DJ Moore. They have a tough matchup here as they travel to Cincinnati, who's starting to look a little bit more like Cincinnati. What's your prediction?
Keep your helmets on this week. But Bengals score of 24-21. Panthers always keep it close.
Yeah, and shout out to Carolina for definitely remaining a lot more competitive since Matt Rule's been gone.
Or since P.J. Walker's been in a quarterback.
It appears he's the guy they got to go with now. I know Sam Darnold's coming off IR soon. Baker Mayfield's hurt, but there's no point in sitting the best guy. Go with the hot hand at this point of the season.
Exactly.
Give me Cincinnati, though. I still don't know about Carolina. I admire their competitiveness, but I just don't see them winning football games.
Right. And similar to the Bears and Dolphins game we talked about, I think Carolina can keep it competitive and somewhat close, but just like with Miami, I think Cincinnati can leave with the win at home in Cincinnati, continue that momentum, continue to do what they're doing. I think Cincinnati does get the win.
Right. Next game, we have a divisional matchup. This is the NFC North. We have the Green Bay Packers at the Detroit Lions. The Green Bay Packers are just about to face the Buffalo Bills as this is being recorded literally as of kickoff. So what's your prediction?
That's a hard game. I'm going with the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is great versus the NFC North usually.
Yeah.
It's going to be like 17-14.
Yeah, I see this being low scoring, even though Detroit definitely has they're one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. It's just something about Green Bay. They definitely always played Detroit tough. Granted, this is a different Detroit team than what Aaron Rodgers has done the past 15 years. But I don't know, man. It seems like Green Bay's just they're at a rough point right now. It seems like Aaron Rodgers isn't really looking A-Rod right now. I know he doesn't have nobody to throw to, but I don't know, man. I'm not liking Green Bay right now, and it's hard to bet against A-Rod, especially when he's losing by this much. And how many losses they've had in a row. You know, you can't really bet on him to keep losing, but I'm going to. Give me Detroit, man.
Yeah, considering the teams that A-Rod and Green Bay have lost to, like the Lions, like the Jets, like the Commanders in Lambeau, you know, they go on the road to Detroit, a rival, and their matchups, you know, they have a long history, and they manage to keep their matches competitive. Through the years, A-Rod's just tend to own Detroit, but this time around, A-Rod's not really the same. Doesn't have the targets. The team is it seems like they've lost their way.
They have.
And Detroit, you know, they're still finding their way, slowly but surely.
Yeah, because you've seen what Miami did today.
Yeah.
And Tyreek Hill had a hell of a game. But the thing is, Green Bay doesn't have that type of receiver.
No, they don't.
I mean, not many teams in the NFL do, but they don't have that star guy to help lead them to victory.
Yeah, and I don't think Green Bay's offense is really ranked up there. Clearly they're not one of the best. I mean, that's why they've lost how many games consecutively. Give me Detroit here.
Yeah.
Give me Detroit here. I don't know how much Green Bay's defense can hold against Detroit's offense, so I think Detroit can get their win here.
Now, we'll see if Green Bay trades for a receiver before the trade deadline. Again, this is being recorded right before Sunday Night Football with the Packers and Bills. They need a receiver, so by the time this is uploaded, they could have a receiver by then. But right now, not looking great. But next game, we have the Indianapolis Colts, who just lost to Taylor Heinicke and the Commanders. Heinicke's looking good, by the way. They face the New England Patriots, who are starting to look a little more normal. What's your prediction?
Ooh. We know the Patriots.
Yeah.
Score of like 16-10.
It just seems like New England's a safe bet right now, isn't it? They're looking, like I said, normal. They're looking like New England. The quarterback controversy's still there, but they got a ground game and solid weapons to get the ball to, and the defense is underrated right now. Give me New England for sure. I just don't know about Indianapolis. They had a new quarterback in last week. They lost by 1, but he didn't really do much. Jonathan Taylor went out with an injury. Indianapolis just sucks right now, so give me New England.
Yeah, they do. I mean, New England's looking real fine. You know, they're having a minor quarterback controversy with Mac Jones and Bailey Zapp, but I think, you know, it don't really matter who's in a quarterback against Indianapolis. I think New England at home is going to get the win. Indianapolis is just, they're not looking good.
No, they're not.
And with Sam Ehlinger still the quarterback, that's not going to do them well either, especially if Jonathan Taylor's going to be out or if he's going to be bearing a minor injury.
Right.
There's nothing Indianapolis can do, man. So New England.
Next game, we have another divisional matchup. The AFC East. We have the Buffalo Bills at the New York Jets. Jets trying to get their win back while Buffalo's still looking hot. What's your prediction?
Bills. Score like 27-20.
Yeah, you just can't bet against Buffalo, can you? You can't. No, you cannot. So Buffalo, 100%. I think I agree with your score prediction. I think New York keeps it close. It keeps it within one score, but Buffalo all the way.
Yeah, I mean, this game could very well be very competitive and close with them being rivals, and both teams, you know, they're young. They're getting the groove on, especially Buffalo. And the Jets, you know, they're still trying to find their way. You know, they're still growing with a lot of talent, a lot of young talent at that they got. But Buffalo is just a high hand right now. They're at a point where they're quite unstoppable, really, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So give me Buffalo here.
Next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings, who are looking real good right now, at the Washington Commanders, who it seems like with Taylor Heinicke, they're rolling right now, 2 straight victories. I believe 2 straight victories, at least under Taylor Heinicke. Do they pull off the upset? What's your prediction?
I will never pick the Redskins football team or the Commanders to win a game ever. Vikings score of 28-14. Justin Jefferson's finally going to score a touchdown.
I absolutely agree. A part of me wants to go Washington upset, but I can't see that with Minnesota. Jefferson's too good. Washington's defense is still sus as hell. I agree. Minnesota. I appreciate what Washington's doing with Heinicke. He's the guy they need to go with the rest of the year, especially with the NFC East looking real good for once, but Minnesota all the way.
Yeah, I mean, Washington, I believe they're on a 3-game winning streak, if I'm not mistaken. Dating back to their Thursday night win against Chicago.
Right, but they have 2 under Heineke.
Yeah, they do.
Back.
And Heineke has looked pretty solid. He's connecting with the offense. They're getting wins right now with Ron Rivera still a head coach. But Minnesota's 6-1. And they're riding a lot of momentum, especially
6-1. Wow.
Yeah, especially after a big win against Arizona. Now I know Arizona ain't that great, but they still are a competitive team, and the fact that Minnesota got a win like that is pretty. It really tells the type of team Minnesota very well could be. And go up against a team like the Commanders, yeah, I think Minnesota can get the win and advance to 7-1.
Next game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, Jaguars lost at London, but the Raiders lost. They got shut out by the Saints. What's your prediction? This is a tough one.
I started Daniel Carson this week against Josh, and I'm going to lose because of that. So
no.
I will not pick the Raiders. So, Jaguars.
Yeah,
21-17.
Okay, yeah, the Raiders just suck, man. Like, I can't trust the Raiders. They'll have a good game here and there, like they did versus Texans, but that was against the Texans. Against Jacksonville, not a lot of wins under the belt, but they're competitive. Give me Jacksonville. I actually think ETN has another great game. And this time, I'm actually going to start him in fantasy because I benched him for Gus Edwards, and I'm looking like a moron.
Yeah, you really are. Correct me if I'm wrong. For the Saints defense, they didn't have Lattimore playing, did they?
I can't recall.
I think I saw that he was inactive, and Devontae Adams did nothing. He had 1 catch.
1 catch for 3 yards. Who, by the way, hurt me in fantasy?
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with you, brother. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. I mean, I kind of do. I don't like Josh McDaniels. I don't think he's a head coach. I don't even think he's that good of an OC.
That's the Raiders for you.
Jacksonville, man. I mean, they're at home. They sustained a tough loss, in London against the Denver Broncos of all teams. And, quite honestly, they've looked a little bit, better than the Raiders have been all season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Doug Peterson and Jaguars can get a win here, a good bounce-back win.
Agreed. Against
the Raiders. I just don't trust Las Vegas.
Right. Next game, we have another divisional matchup. We move on to the NFC West. We have Seattle at Arizona. These two teams collided a couple weeks back, and Seattle won. I think the score was, 19-9. Do they get the sweep, or does Arizona get a victory here? What's your prediction?
Kenneth Walker Stan, Seahawks, 20-7.
Yeah, these games are always low scoring, and I'm going to remain with that. But I'm going to go Seattle. I think they get the sweep. Arizona's 3-5 for a reason, while Seattle just beat the 6-1 Giants. Seattle's looking very competitive. Under Pete Carroll, it goes to show you the type of head coach he truly is with everyone that he's got under the whelm now. Seattle for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt, Jesus. I believe Seattle is leading the division, their division right now. I believe they're number 1. And they've looked real good. Geno Smith has looked very solid. The receivers are very good. Kenneth Walker appears to be the next-rate running back for Seattle. Arizona, Cliff Kingsbury, they got problems, like severe problems. And Kyler Murray is just not that guy.
No.
He's not that guy.
But it seems like him and Kingsbury got some beef.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nothing's gelling well with Arizona.
You know what it tells me? It tells me that Kingsbury needs to trust his 50 or 40-something $million man. Let him call the plays.
Which is weird. He got paid that much money, Kyler Murray did, but yet Geno Smith, who was a backup for how many years,
I know,
is looking pretty solid.
I know.
Seattle. Definitely Seattle.
Right. Next game, we have a playoff rematch from last year, which was a great game. We have the Los Angeles Rams at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Both teams aren't looking great right now. What's your prediction?
Both of these teams are pretty bad, but I'll pick the Buccaneers.
You think the Bucks win?
I don't say that confidently.
Yeah, I see. I just don't know with Brady no more, man. See, at the same time, it's the second you doubt him, he comes back up. Because that's how he's always worked. This could be another instance, and it's in Tampa Bay. Los Angeles, they only have Kupp, and that's it. No one else is really showing out. Aaron Donald's been quiet. Ramsey's been quiet. Matt Stafford has been very, very dead. They're having a true Super Bowl hangover. In fact, what's their record?
3-4?
3-4.
3-4, I believe.
Right, and of course, the Bucs record is 3-5, I think. They already have more losses than they did last year. This one's tough to call. So do I bet against Brady again, or do I go with Brady at home? I don't know, man. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to go Tampa. I just don't see Brady to keep losing. I can see Los Angeles to keep losing, but I'm going to go Tampa Bay. The reason why Tampa lost last year is because Los Angeles came to play. This year, they have not come to play. Give me Tampa Bay.
I mean, neither team has come to play.
You're right, but I like Tampa Bay more than I do Los Angeles right now.
I really don't. I mean, I don't like both teams with how they've played. I'm not going to lie. I had to flip a coin for this.
He actually did.
And I'm going the Rams, okay? I'm going the Rams. I really don't know. This game is the definition of going either way.
Right.
I just don't know about Tom Brady anymore. I don't know about the Bucs offense.
I definitely anticipate this being low scoring. So if you're going to pick the under, I recommend it.
I'm going Los Angeles here, and that's just off a coin flip.
Right. Next game, we have Sunday Night Football. These two teams have always had a great history. We have Tennessee at Kansas City. Derrick Henry is still him, but Mahomes is still him. So who do you go with?
Kansas City. Never got Mahomes.
I mean, they're at home. They're at Arrowhead, man. Loudest stadium in the NFL. So, I mean, it's hard to bet against them at home, even though Tennessee's looking real good right now. Tannehill might be back. They're going to ride a lot on Henry like they did last week versus the Texans. And shout out to Vrabel. He keeps keeping them in the fight. But Kansas City, man, they're not like Kansas City the past couple years, but they're still competitive. They're still, I don't want to say elite, but they're almost there. I'm going to go Kansas City as well. I agree with you, Dkary. I agree with Kansas City.
Yeah, for sure. It's at home, Sunday night, prime time for Patrick Mahomes and company. Tennessee, they've looked real good. I believe for this game they should have Tannehill back. Mm-hmm. You know whether they have Tannehill or Willis, they're just going to have Derrick Henry carry the load, to which, he's more than capable. Derrick Henry, King Harry is still him. But against Kansas City, there's only so much, one guy for Tennessee and Derrick Henry can do.
Right.
And I don't know how much, he can really do it. And with that being said, I think Kansas City gets the win here. I really do. It's prime time. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's what he does best.
And it's Mike Vrabel, but I anticipate this being close. But to close out week 9, guys, we have Monday Night Football. We have the Baltimore Ravens going to New Orleans. This should be interesting, possibly highly competitive. What's your prediction?
Ravens.
Ravens? Why the Ravens?
Because Lamar Jackson is on the field and he's the top 5 quarterback.
Top 5?
What?
There's an argument.
Okay.
I don't know.
There's a lot of people out there that don't even argue is he even a quarterback. But let's be honest, man. He has really improved his quarterback skills. He's still very inconsistent, but Lamar's looking good right now. Against a tough New Orleans defense, I don't know. And they don't really have a lot of receiving power. They have a great ground game. They always have, especially with Edwards back. I know JK's still on IR, but they're still competitive. Even Kenyon Drake's getting involved. He's having a career resurgence. We know what Lamar can do. So they're going to have to try to use the ground game, but New Orleans' run defense has always been one of the best.
Yep.
That being said, give me New Orleans because I think that Baltimore defense is still sus, and I think Michael Thomas will be back. We know what Chris Olave can do. Kamara, I doubt he's going to get traded. I could be wrong. By the time this is uploaded, he could be with another team, whoever that is. I don't know. But give me New Orleans. I know they're 3-5 right now, but give me New Orleans.
See, this is tough. It's another one of those games, especially in prime time, that could go either way. The Ravens, they have some moments where they blow a lead and they lose games, but then there's, recently they've been able to hold on to a lead. They've been able, for the second half, they've been able to get down on the field, get points, and keep a hold of the game and actually win. They've done it the past 2 games. And the Saints, despite the injuries, week in and week out, they are extremely competitive, and they put points on the board for sure. I think I got to go Baltimore, though. I really do.
It's probably the safe route, but I'm going with New Orleans because that's my upset of the week.
And I can understand that, and I can definitely see New Orleans pulling it off, especially at home. But I don't know. I can see Lamar kind of have, a big primetime performance here, come up big and prove his worth. like he's trying to do for the Ravens
I'll
and
give him
everything
this.
like that.
He's always done good in primetime.
Yes, he has. And with that being said, I think Lamar and Baltimore and company do get the win.
Should be a good game, though, possibly highly defensive. But that'll do it for the Week 9 picks. Again, huge thank you to Dkary for his time and for his predictions and for coming on. Once again, another year doing predictions with him. Always a great time. And you, sir, thank you for coming on. And good luck to your Dallas Cowboys the rest of the year.
Thank you. Good luck to the Steelers.
Yeah, we're going to need every single bit of it that we're definitely going to have to use. So appreciate that. Otherwise, you're more welcome to joining us for the Peace Out Show. Rob, sign us out.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!